wrestling fans, the following contest is set for one fall. Introducing first, from Lexington, Tennessee, here is Hot Stuff, Eddie Gilbert. Well, I can't say that was one of the most enjoyable interviews I've ever conducted, but it's what a tag team combination. Norman and Abdullah the Butcher.
Hey, I kind of got a kick out of that interview, Jim.
Well, the next time, if you like it so much, you can interview him next week.
How's that $20 silk pocket square looking with those teeth marks in it, huh?
And his opponent, he's from Bad Street in Atlanta, GA. One half of the fabulous Freebirds. Make welcome, Jimmy Jam Garvin. Jimmy Jam Garvin, one half of the self-proclaimed most famous rock and roll band of all time, the Freebirds.
No, they didn't say most famous. They said world's greatest. And they're not self-proclaimed. They have been named the world's greatest rock and roll band by all their thousands of fans.
Well, I find that very dubious.
Did you read the last issue of Rolling Stone?
I missed it. My subscription must have lapsed.
The Reader's Popularity Awards. It was the Fabulous Freebirds, then the Rolling Stones, then it was Bon Jovi, and then a couple other guys that don't really matter, didn't really place very highly. That was the top three.
Well, Michael Hayes, in case you fans have missed him, has been suspended by World Championship Wrestling because, as many of you know, he co-hosts with Lance Russell NWA Pro Wrestling, and Hayes took an unscheduled vacation to comfort Ivana Trump.
Get him, Mike, just for
They
you,
say.
baby, just for you.
See there, Jimmy Garvin. He's an honorable man, Jimmy Jam Garvin. He's saying, Michael, I'm going to get this punk over here, and I'm going to get him just for you.
Man, I'll tell you, I'm still a little shaky here. I never liked Abdullah the Butcher, and I can't understand. You know, Parrot, he's the good boogeyman. I don't understand.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I can't see how you can stand the combined odor. That's like living next door to a sewage treatment plant, standing next to Norman and Abdullah the Butcher.
I think about Abdullah the Butcher and Norman as tag team partners. I think that Kevin Sullivan's slaughterhouse is indeed in a lot of trouble.
No, they're not in any trouble. It's only a matter of time before they find some way to get rid of Norman and Abdullah the Butcher. He's a crazy nut himself.
Gilbert with a side headlock. Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and gorgeous Jimmy Garvin here on World Championship Wrestling. Jimmy Jam Garvin. And Garvin taking a little intimidation factor. He says he's going to win this one for Michael.
Get him, Mike. I'm going to get him, baby.
Hey, I think it was perfectly all right. I think it was compassionate and kind of Michael Hayes to go up to New York City and comfort Ivana Trump. After all, Donald dumped her. He threw her out like yesterday's garbage, all for some other girl that I don't even think is as good looking as Ivana. And Michael Hayes went up there just to give her a little compassion and also to lay some groundwork to maybe get a percentage of that 50 or 60 million. Look what happens.
Well, side headlock by Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. I don't know. Norman and Abdullah. Good. I'm still shaking. Side headlock by Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert takes Jimmy Jam Garvin over. Got 2.5 out of that. Randy Anderson, the referee. Fans still to come in our 2 hours. The United States Tag Team Champions, Flying Brian and Z-Man. Garvin's got a handful of tights there. Gilbert having trouble keeping his shoulders off the canvas. There you see. Good officiating there by Randy Anderson, turning back into the legal position.
I've known Eddie Gilbert for a long time. I know his family. As a matter of fact, I knew his daddy, who I suspect at one time was a moonshiner in Tennessee. Probably got some of that from Flying Brian's daddy. I understand he spent a lot of time in the Ohio drunk tank up there in Cincinnati.
That's a total fabrication. That is not true.
I found out about it.
Oh, baloney. You find out a lot of things. You make up a lot of stuff.
I found out about the Z-Man. Do you know his sister? She must be an interior decorator because somebody said she knows the color of every man's bedroom in Minneapolis.
Oh, yes. Well, fans, those are Cornette's comments, not those of World Championship Wrestling or of TBS, and certainly of mine. It's strictly your comments, and they're not true.
Yeah, they are true. I don't want anybody else to claim my comments. I'm talking about the Z-Man of Flying Brian at That's the way me and the Midnight Express feel about them. They're nothing but stinking scum of the earth. They're wastes of human flesh. You're going to see later on what they did to us, how they came in like thieves and stole our property.
Jimmy Garvin trying to work a way free here from this side headlock. Good back heel trip on top of the lateral press. And Gilbert kicked out at 2. Both men quickly back up to their feet. Hot stuff Eddie Gilbert. Outstanding competitor. One of the fine strategists in our sport. Former pro wrestling rookie of the year, that young man. Also a second-generation athlete.
I'm looking good, aren't I? I'm looking good. You're darn right, buddy.
I saw Gilbert a few minutes ago. He was balling his fists up. He was trying to start a fight there, trying to make Jimmy Garvin break the rules. But so far, it's not working. Garvin's wrestling a clean, scientific match.
Fans, don't forget that 1 week from this Sunday night, the NWA back in the Omni. We hope you'll plan on being with us. World's Heavyweight Championship will be on the line on that night. Tickets on sale at all seats locations. That does include most Turtles records and tapes throughout Atlanta. Jimmy Garvin pulled the hair, put Gilbert into the head scissors.
Now, wait a minute. Did you see him pull the hair?
I did, as a matter of fact.
Oh. Well, I didn't see it. Jim, I tell you, you just keep on disagreeing with me the past few weeks. It just seems like every time I say something, you just have to disagree with me.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm so argumentative.
And I'll forgive you if you don't keep stirring up trouble.
All right. Well, that's important for me to have your forgiveness, I'll assure you. Hot stuff Eddie Gilbert sizing up Jimmy Garvin. The Rock and Roll Express certainly have a score to settle with the Freebirds, and I think before it's all said and done, the Birds' feathers may be a little fluff from Ricky and Robert.
I thought that score was settled. Every time the Freebirds have run into the Rock and Roll Express, they've dumped those punks on their face and left them for dead in the middle of the ring. I thought it was settled.
Reversal of the Irish whip. Gilbert goes upstairs. Good head scissor. Hot stuff Eddie Gilbert now with the head scissors of his own. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with this contest. If we have a decision rendered, we'll show it to you right after this commercial break. Welcome back, everyone, to World Championship Wrestling. Jim Ross and Jim Cornette with you as Jimmy Garvin has the advantage. Obviously, no decision was rendered during the commercial break. Both men exchanging offensive moves. But right now, it's Jimmy Jam Garvin with the advantage.
Talking about renderings, have you heard the fabulous Freebirds rendition of Bad Street USA?
I have never even seen an album. Why don't you bring it if you got their collection? Why don't you bring it? If you bring their album, we'll play it on this program. I promise that.
You promise that?
Yeah.
I would have brought it before, but I'm afraid you'd steal it. I've only got one copy I want to keep in my collection. I remember a time that I offered to show you my family pictures, and why you went through my wallet.
That was somebody else, pal. I have no business in anything near your back pocket.
Or parts south.
I'll tell you that right now. Hot stuff Eddie Gilbert trying to free himself. He's got that. He really does. Now he's got it. Now he's got the reverse chin lock. Taking Garvin back. Good move by Garvin. Good counter move. And Garvin backs away. Collar and elbow again. Another side headlock by Hot Stuff. The Steiners and the Minnesota Wrecking Crew got quite an altercation last week on the NWA main event. If you missed that, we're going to show you some highlights of that confrontation. Gilbert with a nice hip lock takeover into the side headlock.
Well, the man pulled his trunks.
And there he pulled the hair again.
No. Jimmy Garvin was only retaliating. Gilbert, he hooked the trunks on the hip toss. He hooked the hair on the hip lock.
Have you checked your medication lately? I think you're seeing things. Maybe you got a sugar deficiency.
I'm on a slight antibiotic right now for a slight ear infection. That's all that I'm on. That's all I'm ever on. I'm just naturally fired up about things going on in the NWA these days.
How am I doing, Mike? How am I doing?
Well, he's talking to his comrade, Freebird Michael Hayes. If you just joined us, Hayes is on suspension for taking an unscheduled vacation, allegedly comforting Ivana Trump.
What do you mean allegedly? Look, he's biting a man. He's biting Jimmy Garvin.
Sure as heck is, isn't
He
it?
was biting Jimmy Garvin.
I agree with you.
That's why I'm fired up. The situation in the NWA today, the title situation, you've got this thing with Abdullah the Butcher being Norman's tag team partner, him and Captain Mike Rotunda. You got Flying Brian and Seaman stealing our belts. injustice going on. There's a lot of things wrong with the NWA these days, and I'm hot about it. A lot of wrongs need to be righted. People think they can do anything they want to do. Guy brings a box out to ringside, hides an alleged human being in it, like Abdullah the Butcher. Come on.
All you need is a tent, and then you could have a real revival. Because you're really preaching today, aren't you?
People stealing title belts around here right and left. Heavyweight titles, tag team titles. I'm sick of it.
Side headlock, hot stuff. Eddie Gilbert now with the advantage on Jimmy Jam Garvin, who's not so cocky right now, not so excited, but a great wrestling move, good counter wrestling, belly-to-back suplex.
He was just biding his time. He was waiting for Eddie Gilbert to make the fatal mistake, and he used his own momentum. Gilbert was bouncing him. Well, he bounced Gilbert right straight backwards on his head.
Snapmare by Garvin, but Gilbert reverses until the hammerlock floats over to the side headlock. Hot stuff Eddie. Gilbert's got the shoulders down, and Garvin near fall there. 2+.
2 plus what?
2 plus 1 is 3, and you're beat.
You really are like Dustin Hoffman and Rain Man. You know that? You could even add like him.
Well, I'll tell you, with this situation with Norman, also the situation involving the World's Heavyweight Championship, I'll tell you, it's going to be interesting. The comments I got from the competitors for the World Championship, I'll be talking about that conversation. And I'll have that on the NWA Wrestling Hotline tonight. Of course, that number 1-900-909-9900, $2 for the first minute, 45 cents each additional minute.
And we want all you little snot-nosed brats to get your parents' permission before you call, right?
Kids, you should ask your mom and dad before calling. Yes, they're not snot-nosed brats. All right, Garvin now with the advantage, but Gilbert reverses and elevates Jimmy Jam Garvin, and the Freebird in trouble as Eddie Gilbert goes back up top. Good head scissors, takeover. Eddie Gilbert with the decided advantage here thus far. Jimmy Jam dedicating this match to his partner, Michael Hayes.
Kind of a long-distance dedication, you might say.
I think, yeah, right.
You might say it.
Casey Kasem, American Top 40. I want to tell you, Michael Hayes will be back with us before you know it in active competition.
Oh, nothing happens before I know it.
Well, I understand he'll be in Gainesville, Georgia this Monday night at the Georgia Mountain Center at 7:30. For all you fans up in beautiful North Georgia, we'll have to see you there at 7:30. Eddie Gilbert showing a look of determination.
Wait a minute, beautiful North Georgia, isn't that a contradiction in terms?
Not in my estimation. I think it's one of the most gorgeous parts of a country that there is. Yeah. Beautiful North Georgia.
I can hardly wait for Tuesday night in Gadsden, Alabama. We want all the people to bring their posters and pennants, and I'll bet you another $10, Jim. Wait a minute. A near fall there. I'll bet you another $10. The people in Gadsden, Alabama cannot make posters for the NWA stars and spell all the words right. I'm betting you that.
Referee Randy Anderson breaks the maneuver from the hair pull. And Garvin, who has taken that shortcut several times, finally got caught. Jimmy Garvin, hot stuff Eddie Gilbert here on World Championship Wrestling. Special workout with Sting, showing you his rapid progress.
Yeah, why don't he bicycle on out of town like I said before? He ought to just tootle on off out to city limits, never to be seen or heard from again. The Hopalong Cassidy of the NWA. How about the Steiners? How about Scott Steiner's left arm?
It's not broken, but man, it is injured. We'll be seeing that action a little bit later in the program.
Ole Anderson and the Wrecking Crew keep on chipping away and chipping away. Pretty soon, even a big slab of marble will break if you chip away long enough.
And Garvin had the overhand wrist lock. It looked, at my vantage point, like he pulled the hair again.
Sometimes camera angles do that to you, Jim. They deceive your eyes. Something appears to be when actually it wasn't.
Garvin dropping the leg. Wait a minute. Here comes Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson.
What are these guys doing out here? The Rock and Roll Express got no business. They have got no business being involved in this match.
They're not involved. They're just here watching. And high knee there by Jimmy Garvin. It was Garvin who cost the Rock and Roll Express a recent tag team event with the Samoans that cost the Rock and Roll a chance for the World Tag Team Championship.
The Rock and Roll Express being out here is distracting Jimmy Garvin. He can't keep his full attention on the match.
That's the idea, apparently. the guy.
Well, it's immoral then.
And you're an authority on that.
Hey, I know all about morality.
Eddie Gilbert back up to the vertical base, trying to power out with an overhand wrist lock. And Garvin pulled the hair. Now, right there was a great camera shot of him pulling the hair.
Well, what's the guy going to do? He's fighting three people. He's got to take some shortcuts.
Hey, the two at ringside are not the only two here that are cheering for Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert.
Get out of here!
Yeah, but they're the two that are inside the railing there. They're the two that have had battles in the ring with Jimmy Garvin.
Eddie Gilbert now fighting back. Hot Stuff for rights and lefts. Sends Garvin for the ride, and Gilbert came a little overzealous there to the corner. Garvin caught him with a knee. 1, 2, and Gilbert kicked out.
He should have had that one. The referee's count was too slow.
Garvin was looking at Robert Gibson and not paying attention to pinning Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert.
See, that's exactly what I'm saying. The Rock and Roll Express have distracted Jimmy Garvin. He could have already had the match won.
Fans here chanting for Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert here on World Championship Wrestling. As we mentioned, it's a big week. A phenomenal card this Friday night in the D.C. Armory in Washington, D.C. And then 1 week from tonight, the NWA will be in the city of brotherly love in Philadelphia.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
Garvin is really, his focus has become fragmented now that the Rock and Roll Express have made their appearance at ringside.
And I think that this is a tremendous injustice to one half of the world's greatest rock and roll band.
Eddie Gilbert trying to get some momentum from the rope. Inadvertently ran into Randy Anderson, but Gilbert, it wasn't that blow that got him. It's the punishment he's taken from Jimmy Garvin. And Ricky Morton encouraging Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert to not quit, keep competing, and that's him.
Pee Wee Anderson got sandwiched in between them there because Gilbert was trying to slingshot himself off the ropes. The referee was trying to keep his eye on the rock and roll, just like Jimmy Garvin is. I can tell you from personal experience, the Rock and Roll Express will jump you from behind in a heartbeat, just like Pillman and Sink.
Yeah. Oh, you look at things so slanted.
They're all back jumpers.
Get him out of here!
They always jump the Midnight Express from behind.
Get him out of here now!
Now they're trying to jump the Freebirds from behind. They're trying to make it 3-on-1.
Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert being checked by referee Randy Anderson. Garvin really trying to wrench down on that chin lock. Rock and Roll Express keeping the crowd involved here on World Championship Wrestling. Great wrestling weekend here on TBS. Concluding with the NWA main event this Sunday night at 6:05. Gilbert back up to his feet. Look at him strain to get out of this chin lock. Fighting with all he's got. And Garvin goes downstairs with a well-placed knee. Sends Gilbert for the ride. Hot Stuff up and over. Stops that flip, but Garvin kicked out. And Garvin right back to the reverse chin lock. Boy, this is a great contest.
Sure, it's a great contest with Jimmy Garvin out there fighting for his life against three guys. You'd think that was a great contest, Jim. I know you.
It's kind of like when you guys wrestle Pillman and Z-Man when you're out there. That's 3-on-2 also, if my math is correct. Or at least 2.5 to 2.
Now, wait a minute. Now you're confusing the issue with facts. I never interfere in my men's matches unless we have been wrong first.
You've told so many lies in the last 2 weeks, your nose is growing.
Well, at least I got something on me that's getting bigger instead of everything getting smaller, like that little pencil neck of Flying Brian Pillman that needs to be broke again, like we almost did before.
Half Nelson into the lateral press. Gilbert kicks out. Gilbert now downstairs, rights and lefts to the stomach, and Garvin blatantly break the eyes of Hot Stuff, temporarily blinding him. Now he sends him for the ride. He missed that clothesline and tosses Gilbert right outside.
Yeah, now Garvin, he's telling that Robert Gibson. He's telling him that he is one half of the world's greatest rock and roll band and that they have taken the measure of the...
Oh, I think Ricky Morton grabbed the foot. see anything.
Ricky Morton tripped him.
We don't have any of that on tape. It's not on tape. It probably didn't happen.
Jimmy Garvin was robbed.
Fans, we'll be back. Don't go away. We'll be back.
Holy
The
mackerel.
U.S. Tag Champions, the real ones, are coming up next.
Wait a minute.